Professor loved to say, trust happens when actions meet words.
Spoiler warning. Disney Plus has finally hosted the launch of Marvel Studios' X-Men 97, and the first 2 episodes are jam-packed with references and Easter eggs. Relationships exist not only with the original animated series, but also with the comic books. In addition, there are a few significant MCU allusions. The X-Men are trying their hardest to preserve the dream and vision of the late Professor Charles Xavier, picking up just a few short months after the events of the first X-Men animated series. In light of this, there is still much to be done to promote harmonious coexistence between mutants and humans. Here are all the fascinating Easter eggs and references to be found in X-Men 97 episodes 1-2, which feature some thrilling twists and surprising disclosures after only the first 2 episodes. Subscribe to Movie Spy for more twist videos. X-Men's 97's Times Square has MCU allusions. Square of Time and Stark and VistaCorp from X-Men 97. A quick glimpse of Times Square in New York City can be seen in the opening sequence of X-Men 97 Episode 1. The famous spot has a few allusions to the MCU that the animated X-Men universe appears to share, all of which are somewhat loose. This features the logos for Stark Industries and VistaCorp, the company Scott Lang worked for and revealed information about before to his MCU transformation into Ant-Man. WHH World News, the main news source for the MCU. It also appears that WHH World News has a version specific to the cartoon X-Men universe. Since the 2008 release of the first Iron Man, WHH has served as the main news source for several MCU films and television series. It was most heavily depicted in The Falcon and The Winter Soldier in recent years. Sunspot, Roberto da Costa. The mutant heroes rescue Roberto da Costa from the Friends of Humanity, a group that despises mutants, in the first episode of the new X-Men 97 television series. Because of his extraordinary solar abilities, Roberto is known as Sunspot in the comics. Though that might soon change as the book progresses, Roberto has yet to accept his destiny as a mutant hero, choosing instead to remain unseen and conceal his skills. The Daily Bugle references to the Hellfire and Spider-Man galas. Spider-Man referenced in the Daily Bugle newspaper in X-Men 97. A Daily Bugle newspaper, the iconic newspaper from the Spider-Man franchise, is seen fluttering in the breeze after the X-Men's victory at the Friends of Humanity stronghold. In light of this, one headline speculates as to whether Spider-Man could be a mutant, while another makes allusion to the yearly Hellfire Gala that takes place in the original comic books. Considering the shared universe of the animated Spider-Man and X-Men shows, this is an especially entertaining nod. In reality, Goldballs is a mutant. In the Danger Room, Jubilee questions Roberto about his abilities and inquires as to whether he can blast Goldballs from his body. This really alludes to a real mutant named Goldballs from the comics who is capable of doing just that. Originally intended to be more of a joke character, Goldballs, real name Fabio Medina, became a beloved mutant in the Marvel Universe very fast. He was introduced in 2013. As a result, Goldballs went on to play a significant role in the Krakoan era of the X-Men, teaming up with the 5 other mutants to guarantee the resurrection of every mutant upon death. X-Men 97 bibliography in The Falcon and The Winter Soldier, Madripoor is mentioned in Cyclops and Jean's conversation with the U.S. President on Bolivar Trask and the Sentinels. As depicted on the page, the Southeast Asian island is a classic Marvel Universe setting, well known for its illicit underworld and black market activities. But it also appears in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it was discussed in episodes of The Winter Soldier and The Falcon. An image of Xavier's first X-Men. Reminiscent of their shared history as Xavier's initial pupils, Jean reflects on Xavier's passing and what lies ahead. Together with Beast, Iceman, and Angel, they were also the original X-Men. Collectively, they represented the original 5 mutant heroes from the early comic books, a legendary team that was also mentioned in the first X-Men animated series. Lightning is found to be an Omega-level mutant. Lightning mutant with Omega level in X-Men 97. Storm is identified as an Omega-level mutant by the mutant killing machines that were saved when the X-Men located Trask and his last Sentinels. This is also Oraro's mutant status in the comics. That is, she is a mutant with a dominant power that is at the top of its particular classification's register and upper bounds. Put another way, nobody has as much power over the weather as Storm has. End credits and classic character profiles from X-Men 97 X-Men 97 Final Scenes character profiles. During X-Men 97's closing credits, revolving character models and their power profiles are displayed. This is a reflection of the original animated series end credits. It's a really lighthearted and completely sentimental remark that gives the impression that this new Marvel series is an extension of the first run. Prior to X-Men formerly on the X-Men title card symbol Similarly, an episode recap of the first episode appears at the start of X-Men 97. In addition, it opens with the same timeless phrase from the original series, previously on X-Men. Naturally, Previously On was a mainstay of most 90s serialized cartoons, providing brief recaps of previous episodes to save viewers from getting disoriented if they missed last week's. Even though it's less common now, it's still done and audibly heard with select show summaries. Magneto has been included in the X-Men 97 theme. Eric Lyncher aspires to be a hero and lead the X-Men in accordance with Xavier's desires and ideals after the events of X-Men 97 Episode 1 and the twist at the end where Magneto reveals that Xavier gave him everything in his will. In order to do this, Magneto's name was later inserted into the theme song sequence before the names of the other X-Men. As such, it's a noteworthy and exciting addition that goes beyond the original animated series theme tune. The Genosha Mutant Nation. Using Xavier's wealth and resources, Magneto rescues and relocates the underground mutant tribe, the Morlocks, to the mutant island nation of Genosha in one of his earliest heroic deeds. Genosha, a well-known X-Men location from the comic books and animated series, was once under Magneto's control and served as a haven for mutants for many years. It was also mentioned in X-Men: Dark Phoenix. Now that X-Men 97 is here, Genosha is about to receive official UN recognition. Executioner in X-Men 97. Executioner. Born from the ranks of Friends of Humanity, the Executioner is armed with a rifle that can neutralize the X gene of a mutant. But the original comics also feature the Executioner as a villain, and both of them have a deep animosity toward mutant kind. Nevertheless, after being captured by Magneto, it's unclear if the Executioner will reappear in X-Men 97. Sadly, he was successful in taking away Storm's abilities. A clone of Jean Grey and Madeline Pryor? The appearance of a second Jean Grey, who shows up before the X-Men and is in dire need of their assistance despite not being pregnant, was the main plot twist in the conclusion of X-Men 97 Episode 2. Because of this, one of these genes is probably Madeline Pryor from the original comics, a sinister clone of Jean that Mr. Sinister made in an effort to further the evolution of mutant kind. The Jean who gave birth is actually Madeline, and this new Jean is the real one, assuming X-Men 97 sticks to the canon. All of the Morph transformations, mostly X-Men spoken words. The new look of Morph in X-Men 97. Being a shapeshifter, Morph's many guises are mini Easter eggs and X-Men references in and of themselves. In light of that, the following lists all of Morph's amazing metamorphoses, along with the dates and characters they create. This excludes the few occasions he transforms into one of the other X-Men, like Jean Grey or Professor Xavier. Having appeared several times in the first animated series, Morph takes on the appearance of Warren Worthington III's Archangel when a Sentinel assaults the Blackbird that is still in the air. He uses the former X-Men's wings to assist in bringing the non-flyers down safely. The majority of Warren's appearances were in the storylines that starred Apocalypse, the antagonist.